I agree. I was just setting you up. I was just setting you up to take that avenue if you wanted to. You did not. That's fine. So first bold prediction for Gordon Mack, Abby Steiner, 200-meter outdoor record and makes the U.S. team. I'm gonna go opposite end of the spectrum. I'll go distance. I'll go distance. Galen Rupp will win the World Championship marathon in Eugene, Oregon. Main reason why I believe this is going to happen. He is going to be one of the few medal contenders globally who prioritizes this event, I believe, because it's in Eugene, Oregon. That's where he went to college, lives in Portland. It makes sense. It's an opportunity to wear Team USA jersey and go for gold. Those opportunities don't come around often, especially at home. Kipchoge is the one guy who hovers over this event. I don't think he'll run the world championship marathon. I think a lot of the best men in the world and best women in the world won't run the world championship marathon because that's just been the tradition. If you go back and you look at the history of this event, there's a lot of people who not just medal, but who won gold, who you're like, oh, that was the highlight of their career. It wasn't like they won three majors and then went into a world championship and then won it. Have there been some talented people who have won it? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You go back to 2019 in the heat of Doha, and DeCisa won it. Obviously, he's a great marathoner. Came in with a lot um, but there's been other champions in the past who have won it, who you probably could not name off the top of your head. So I think he's going to go in there against a beatable field on a course that he's going to be very familiar with, and he's going to get the job done, and he's going to get gold.
I mean, there'll be the first time in history. Maybe not. I don't know. Do you think he'll sleep in his own bed the night before the marathon?
No, I think he'll sleep in Eugene. I think he's gonna drive 2 hours in the morning of the race. But I like
Oh,
that you're getting to that level of detail, Gordon. That is good. You're wondering, you're going all the way ahead, July 2022. Where will Galen Rupp sleep the night before the race? I wasn't going to that level of detail. I just think he's going to run the course a million times. And listen, you know this sport and you know how world championships work. A lot of times, athletes on the marathon side of things, they're like looking for reasons to compete or reasons why it's going to be tough. It can be pretty dang hot in Eugene, right? So the weather's not going to be great. And for us in the United States, oh, it's this massive spectacle. But if you're from some other country, going to Eugene to run a marathon when you could be preparing for, because London's going to be in the fall still, again, Berlin, Chicago, New York. Now, some people are going to try to do both. Perhaps we see more people do both. But for us in America, it's a huge deal that it's in the United States. For people from other countries, it's okay, cool. It's another world championships in a place where I have to fly a really long way to, and the marathon's going to be hot. And I haven't seen the course. I don't know what it's like. Rupp, right, can run it the course as many times as he needs to be super prepared for the weather. And I just think everything's aligning for him to get that win.
here's the thing. Did you agree with my prediction that Abby Steiner will make Team USA? Do you agree with that prediction?
I mean, I'm not going to predict it, but I don't think it's crazy.
See, that's how I am with you. I'm not going to
But
predict it, but I also don't think it's crazy that Galen Rupp would win. So I think we both are on the same wavelength here with our predictions. Where I can see this in your brain, Kevin. I can see this happening. So
okay, here's the
I'm
thing.
going
Here's
for
the
it.
thing. We
I
got this
believe it.
comment. We got this comment to echo what you're saying from Tampa Eagle, who's a member, by the way. Kevin is crazy. Rupp has seen his best day. Here's the thing. He could still win, even though he's seen his
Yeah.
best day. That's my point. That's my point. He doesn't need to be peak Galen Rupp. He can be really solid Galen Rupp, like we saw in Chicago, where he got second, and he can win this race just because of the quality of the field and the built-in advantages that he's going to have. I'm not saying we're going to have a Renaissance throwback Galen Rupp 2012 performance. We don't need it, or 2016 performance. We don't need that. All he needs to do is run solid. He runs like he did in 2021. He could even run as well as he did in the Olympics. Like I know in the Olympics he got eighth, but that'll be an interesting test. How many of the people who beat him in the Olympics will be on the start list for Eugene 2022? I think it's going to be a very small number of people who actually be on that list, and he'll have an advantage over some of the ones who run. Now, Is my prediction completely null and void if one Kipchoge shows up? Yes. Then I immediately want a mulligan, and we will cut this from the podcast archives because this is a Kipchoge exclusive promotion. It is void if Iliad shows up. Here's a list of
So
champions. Here, let's put up there. So
yeah, yeah.
Karui, go ahead.
I was gonna argue like Karui's probably the one that you can look at the most. That's like a Galen Rupp esque type career because Karui he was fifth in the 2019 Boston, sixth in 2018 Chicago, second 2018 Boston, first 2017 Boston,
Mhm.
seventh 2016 Amsterdam, third 2016 Rotterdam. Like those are all kind of very similar results that Galen Rupp has had at majors
Yeah,
leading into
yeah.
this. So I can, I definitely see Galen Rupp being winnable. Again, this isn't if Kipchoge's there, different story. But
Yeah.
non-Kipchoge races, anyone can win. I mean, Galen could have won the Olympics if two things would have went. If Kipchoge didn't show up, and if he had a better day. And I think he got eighth, but like he was in it. He just,
Mhm, mhm.
it wasn't
Yeah.
like overmatched. I mean, obviously he didn't have the best of the day, but he just got second at Chicago Marathon. Like
Well, yeah, yeah, exactly.
it's possible.
Look, Bashir Abdi and Nagy, who went silver bronze from Netherlands and Belgium, are they going to come all the way to Eugene to run a world championships? Maybe, maybe, but those guys are also commanding a really big payday
Yeah.
for the fall marathons. And maybe they'll still be, they run the spring marathon and they're not ready to turn around that quickly and run one over the summer. I just think of the top, if you take, okay, you put Kipchoge in his own tier, right? Obviously, you put Kipchoge in his own tier. Then maybe you make another tier with Lawrence Chirono, put him and maybe one or two other guys. Then there's that next group where it's Rupp and a whole bunch of other guys. Of those guys, who do we know is going to show up and be selected by his country and show up? You feel the most confident about Rupp because you know he's going to be selected, and we have a pretty good feeling that he's going to actually run the race. So that's what I'm saying. He doesn't need to be. The irony of all of this is, and this is perfect for track. Galen Rupp could get his only gold medal in not even like one of his top 4 or 5 best races of all time.
Yeah, that's true. Because he's
Like no one
definitely
who
not.
pays. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
not peak
it,
Galen Rupp marathoning or peak Galen Rupp 10K, but
yeah,
a B plus marathon Galen Rupp could win a world championship.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. That's my point. Okay, we will go back to you now.